Hello, everyone. My name is David Sotman Machado, and I'm pleased to welcome you to this session on time management and adaptability. I am a data scientist researching inclusion in higher education for students with disabilities. One thing is clear for me. In both academia and job market, people with disabilities must compete under the same expectations as everyone else. So this means that managing time effectively is not just a skill, it's a necessity. But then again, it's a necessity for everyone independently of their profession or their abilities. So today, we will not be discussing disabilities. Instead, we will focus on the universal challenge of time management and adaptability. Because if you assume everything will go smoothly, I can promise you it won't. So let's begin. So let's take a moment here to reflect on these three quotes. Well, first, Benjamin Franklin reminds us that time does not wait. You may choose to delay a task, but the clock itself keeps ticking. Then we have the Murphy Law. Anything that can go wrong will go wrong. This is not about pessimism, it's about realism. If you assume everything will go smoothly, you are really setting yourself up for failure. And finally, we have Bob Marley. I won't sing it, but he brings this hopeful message about don't worry about a thing, because every little thing will be all right. Well, let's be honest. Is it bad luck when things don't go as planned? Or was it because we failed to account for setbacks? Was Jai in a bad mood? Or did we just expect too much certainty from an uncertain world? Let me ask you this. Have you ever had this day when everything was neatly planned, but then something unexpected completely disrupted it? Who didn't? Well, maybe you scheduled your day perfectly, but then an urgent request came in. An issue with the technology slowed you down, or just some colleague that really needed your help. Now imagine this happening in a high-stakes environment. Imagine a surgeon who has meticulously prepared for their day. So they studied the patient's case, they reviewed all the procedures, they ensured all equipment was ready, and they even got the patient under anesthesia. But suddenly an emergency case comes in. You see, downstairs at the emergency door, ambulances are coming from the victims from this major disaster. Okay, here the original schedule needs to be completely restructured, and they have to make split-second decisions. So what should they do? This is where time management and adaptability become critical. It's not just about scheduling your time, it's about being ready to adjust and prioritize under pressure. Today, we will explore strategies that will help you not only manage your time efficiently, but also adapt when things don't go as planned. And you remember Murphy, right? So, what will we be taking away from today's session? I think by the end you will be able to understand why time management and adaptability are crucial in both professional and personal settings. Learn practical strategies to improve how you manage your time and respond to unexpected situations. And apply these techniques in real-world scenarios, whether in your studies, workplace, or daily life. So these are not just workplace skills, they are life skills. So let's begin by breaking them down and understanding how they complement each other, okay? Let's start by defining what time management really means. Well, my favorite definition comes from Stephen Covey. He's the author of The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. So while many people believe that time management is about getting everything done, but that's not true. It's not about doing more, it's about doing the right things at the right time. So Stephen Covey said something like the process of planning and organizing how to divide your time among specific tasks to work smarter, not just harder. So in other words, it's about prioritizing tasks and structuring your day to make sure that the most important things get done without exhausting yourself or work inefficiently. Now you might be thinking, oh, okay, that sounds great in theory, but in reality, my schedule is chaotic. Okay, now let's look at someone for who chaotic, your chaotic to him would be peanuts. Okay, so this guy is named Elon Musk, and let's see how he masters time management in an extreme level. Before we dive in, let me be clear about something. I know that Elon Musk may not be the most loved person in the world these days. He surely is controversial, is polarizing, and he's made his share of enemies by now. But here's the thing, who gets more done with their time than he does? Musk is the CEO of Tesla, SpaceX, Neuralink, and the Boring Company. Well, all at the same time, and now he even has this thing called dog in the US government. And yet somehow he manages to run them all effectively. Well, at least from the perspective of his own goals. How? Instead of using traditional to-do list or flexible schedule, Musk breaks his day into 5-minute time blocks. Every single meeting, task, and break is planned down to the minute. This method forces him to focus only on what truly matters. So why is this effective? First of all, it eliminates wasted time, it forces prioritization, and it helps maintain intense focus for short bursts. Of course, most of us don't need to schedule all day down to the minute, but the principle still applies. So take note, plan your tasks in advance. Okay? Eliminate unnecessary activities and be intentional about how you spend your time. Even the best plans can fail because time management alone is not enough. So even this time blocking with 5 minutes intervals will fall to pieces if something urgent and completely unexpected comes in, okay? So let's take a look at where adaptability comes in. I'm sure you know Netflix. Maybe some of you don't remember Blockbuster. Well, if they only had taken the chance to buy Netflix one of the both times they had a chance to, maybe you still would know Blockbuster. Well, this comes from time management giving us a structure, but the structure itself being useless if you can't adapt when things inevitably go wrong. Let's take a look at what happened between Netflix and Blockbuster. When Netflix first started in 1997, it was just a DVD rental company. They would shift DVDs over the standard mail. So you would order your DVD to watch tomorrow in advance, and hopefully it would come on time by the mail. And they had this biggest competitor, Blockbuster, where you would go to the shop and pick up the DVD to watch when you get home. At that time, no one could have predicted that DVDs would become obsolete. But Netflix saw the future. They realized that streaming would replace physical rentals. So they shifted their entire business model. And what happened to Blockbuster? Well, they didn't adapt, so they just went bankrupt. What happened to Netflix? I guess you know. So they became one of the largest entertainment platforms in the world. So the lesson here is simple. Even the best time management won't help if you're unwilling to adapt. So now let's reflect on our own life experiences, okay? Think of a time when you had to adapt to something that was unexpected. Well, maybe an important deadline was suddenly moved, your plans changed last minute, or you faced some unforeseen challenge. Okay, take a while to think about an episode where this happened to you. It may be something personal, it may be something from school, it may be something from work. Well, you know Murphy's law. If anything can go wrong, it will. So when did this happen to you? Have you managed to pick up one of those cases yet? Well, if not, I will tell you to pause the video for a while and play it back again when you are ready with an example. Okay, you're back, you have your example. So now please ask yourself these three questions. When this happened, did I panic or did I adjust? Okay, did I panic or did I adjust? Okay, now, did I immediately look for a solution or did I waste my time wasting time about complaining it? I mean, did I waste time complaining about it? Or did I took the time to start immediately looking for a solution? So, if I could relive that moment, what would I do differently? Okay, please write down the questions. Did I panic or did I adjust? Did I immediately look for a solution or did I waste time complaining about it? If I could relive that moment, what would I do differently? Okay, you may pause the video for like 5 minutes or so and take your time thinking about this, but take your time while managing it. Okay, I will be here when you press play after you do this. Okay, you're back. So the way we respond to a change determines whether we succeed or struggle. This is why time management and adaptability must go hand in hand. Next, we'll break down some common pitfalls in time management and how to avoid them. By now, we've established that managing your time is essential and that no plan will ever unfold perfectly. This brings us down into three key areas where this balance matters the most. The first, personal growth. It's building confidence and reducing stress. So, when you know how to prioritize tasks effectively, you eliminate unnecessary stress. You are not constantly firefighting or scrambling to meet those deadlines. However, when things don't go as planned, and they won't, adaptability allows you to stay composed. Instead of feeling overwhelmed, you shift your focus, adjust priorities, and move forward. Let's take a look at an example. Imagine preparing for a big presentation, but at the last minute, the project fails, it breaks down. A rigid thinker will panic here. You won't know how to move on. Instead, an adaptable person improvises. So using a whiteboard or speaking without any slides, they still deliver the presentation. The situation is highly stressful, but it's still manageable. At the level of professional advantage, increasing productivity and flexibility. So in any career, the ability to manage time is a sign of professionalism. but the ability to pivot when needed is what separates great professionals from average ones. Employers don't just want someone who can plan, they want someone who can handle unexpected challenges. So let's take a look at an example for this one. Think about a job interview. A candidate who's only prepared for expected questions struggles when asked something out of the ordinary. Those who are adaptable handle curveballs quite smoothly. So this is why professionals who combine time management with adaptability become highly valuable into the workplace. Now, the third one, improved problem solving and making better decisions and finding creative solutions. If you only rely on rigid plans, you leave no room for problem solving when things go wrong. And by now you know Murphy's laws. If anything can go wrong, it will. So adaptability allows you to quickly evaluate the situation and adjust your strategy rather than freezing up or sticking to a plan that no longer works. Let's take a look at an example for this one. An architect plans a building project, but halfway through, new regulations force a redesign. The architect who resists changes, he will struggle. But the one who adapts finds a creative solution and keeps the project moving forward. So the most successful professionals, entrepreneurs, and leaders are not just great planners, they are great adapters. So we must ask ourselves, am I just planning? Or am I also preparing for when this plan fails? Do I leave room in my schedule for flexibility? And when things go wrong, do I freeze or do I adapt? The key to real efficiency and resilience is not choosing between structure and flexibility. It's mastering them both. Let's look at specific strategies for balancing time management and adaptability in everyday life. So let's take a look at these key principles of time management, shall we? Now that we understand the importance of time management, let's discuss how to master it. So these 5 key principles will help you use time effectively and strategically. So the first one, prioritization, means that you must focus on tasks that truly matter. Not everything is urgent, and surely not everything is important. And what about goal setting? Without clear goals, time management becomes reactive instead of proactive. Okay? Planning and scheduling. Well, large tasks become overwhelming if you don't break them down into manageable steps. And time blocking, we'll already see that Musk really likes this one. By allocating dedicated time for specific tasks, that prevents us from distractions and ensures deep focus on that specific task that we must complete. Okay? Review and adjustment. Plans are never perfect. If something isn't working, adjust instead of forcing it. Now let's take a look at how prioritization works in practice. One of the best ways to prioritize tasks is by using Eisenhower matrix. Okay, so why is Eisenhower? Well, he was a US president, he was a 5-star general, and he managed huge responsibilities. His approach helped us distinguish between urgent and important tasks. So let's break it down. First, we have the urgent and important. These are the ones that you have to do now. These are tasks that require immediate attention, and if ignored, they lead to crisis. For example, meeting an important deadline or handling some work emergency. Okay? Now, the ones that are urgent, but they are not important. So these are things that need to be done now, but they don't have to be done by you, so you can delegate them. So these demand attention, not necessarily your personal involvement. So examples, emails and interruptions. They may feel urgent, but are they truly productive? Well, now let's take at things that are not urgent, but important. So these are the things that you are going to want to do. Well, just not now, so you schedule them. So these are high stakes tasks that shape your future success. So, for example, strategic planning, personal development, and learning new skills. And those that are neither urgent or important, we'll just eliminate them, okay? So these are pure distractions. Social media scrolling, come on. Excessive TV, cut them down. Even in your personal lives, these are things that you don't want to waste your time on. Come on, you have surely some important or urgent thing to do. So why bother with things that are neither urgent nor important? Okay? Again, let's take a look at our own stuff. Take 30 seconds or more if you pause the video and write down 3 personal tasks that you need to do this week. Okay, that's the first 3 that comes to your mind. What are the 3 things that you need to do this week? Okay, well, then classify them into one of these 4 categories. Are they truly important? Are they just distractions? Or can you get someone to do them for you? Okay, this exercise will help you see where your time is actually going down through the window, where the sands of time are slipping through your fingers. Pause the video and come back after you complete this activity. Okay, now that you're back, let's see another technique. It's called the Pomodoro technique. So now that we've prioritized our tasks, let's talk about how to execute them efficiently. Many people struggle with focus. You start working, but then some notification pop up. Someone sends an email. You check social media just for a second. Well, it's never just for a second, is it? Okay, so this is when you're trying to concentrate hard and your mobile phone won't stop bugging you about, oh, this email came in, someone WhatsApped you, someone texted you something, you have a reminder for something for tomorrow. God damn, you need to focus now. Okay? So this is why the Pomodoro technique is so effective. It forces you to work in deep focus sections. So how does this work? You work like for 25 minutes on a single task without any distractions or multitasking. Okay, put your phone on silence, even without vibrations. You don't want to know about your mobile phone for 25 minutes. Can you do it for 25 minutes? Your boss sure hopes so. Then take a 5 minutes break. Okay, it's not going outside the building to smoke. You don't want to be taking 5 minutes break every half an hour. But take this 5 minutes break to check on what's happening in the world while you were doing that task fully focused. Did some email come up? Is someone having some crisis and texting you about something? Okay. Now, repeat this cycle 4 times. So it would take about 100 minutes plus 5 minutes break. So this is 2 hours work, where for 5 periods, you were completely focused on what you were doing. And you took those 20 minutes and 5 minutes breaks to check, okay, Is there something more urgent or more important than what I am doing now? Only if something really pops up that is a higher priority than what you are doing now, you are going to shift your priority. Otherwise, you can either forward to someone to do it for you, you can either schedule it for tomorrow or next week, depends on the urgency of the thing, or maybe you just completely dismiss it. And for the other 100 minutes in those 2 hours, you are working deeply focused on what you really must do now. Okay? So this is a technique developed by Francesco Cirillo and is used by many highly productive people, including a writer called Cal Newport, who calls this deep work. So why does it work, or why is it extremely effective? It keeps your brain engaged without burnout. It prevents mental fatigue, and it helps you resist the distractions by knowing a break is coming soon. So next time you're struggling with focus, set a 25-minute timer and commit to just that one task. Okay? It looks simple. Well, you just need to start doing it. Now, even with the best time management techniques, we often fall into traps that destroy productivity. The first one is procrastination. I'll do it later. We all had Monday mornings, so we all procrastinated some time. Procrastination isn't just laziness, it's an habit of avoiding discomfort. So, a solution for procrastination is using a 2-minute rule. If something really takes less than 2 minutes, well, just do it immediately and get rid of it. Why? Because starting is often the hardest part. Once you begin, it's easier to keep going. Multitasking. Oh, okay. I promise you this is not me getting back at my girlfriend because she says I can't multitask. Well, she says she's great at it. Well, actually, a Stanford study produced these results where you might think you're good at multitasking, but research shows that multitasking can reduce efficiency by 40%. Why? Because the brain can't actually do two complex tasks at once. Even if our girls say they do, well, that's why they're Wonder Women, but we are mere mortal men, so it switches between them, losing focus in the process. So this is highly controversial, I know, but multitasking um, is blocked by our brain's capacity to do two complex tasks at once, even if someone says they're great at it. Okay? So instead of multitasking, try task batching. This is not actually doing two complex tasks at once, but grouping similar tasks together and complete them in blocks. Okay? So here you are getting efficiency scale by using resources to complete similar tasks together, by using the same resource to complete more than one task, but they are not actually being done at the same time. You are doing this bit from this task, this bit from that, while you are at that resource, okay? So maybe this is what they want us to do when they tell us that we should be multitasking, but multitasking isn't really dispersing your focus on more than one task at a time, okay? About overscheduling. Oh, overscheduling. This is like our nightmare every day, okay? So we leave no room for the unexpected. We schedule our day until we haven't got 5 minutes in that day for something that happens. And you know what? Murphy said that if something is to go bad, it will. So if it does, and we schedule all the minutes we had in our day, where are we having room for the unexpected? We don't. So a solution, leave 20% of your schedule open. This is like a buffer time that allows you to adjust when plans change. Because, as we've discussed, Murphy law is real. Something will go wrong. Leave room in your agenda for the unexpected. Actually, expect it. Okay? So, to master time management, remember Eisenhower matrix and prioritize wisely. Work in deep focus sessions. Use the Pomodoro technique. And avoid these common traps. Don't procrastinate, don't multitask, and don't overschedule. Next, we'll see how to balance structure and flexibility for maximum efficiency. Okay? We've discussed how time management structures your day. But equally critical, especially today, is the skill of adaptability. According to the World Economic Forum, adaptability is one of the top skills required by employers in 2025. Why? Because today's workplace is continually evolving. Think about the COVID-19 pandemic. Overnight, countless businesses had to shift entirely to remote work. Companies that quickly adapted thrived. Those that didn't struggled severely. Some of them disappeared. Let's take a look at the Airbnb case. You must have heard of Airbnb by now, but initially, Airbnb was just a small site for renting out spare rooms and their mattresses. But when they saw broader opportunities, they adapted dramatically, evolving into the world's largest vacation rental and travel experience platform. Adaptability allowed Airbnb not just to survive, but to thrive. They were ready and willing to change their entire business model when opportunities arose. So, adaptability isn't inherent talent. It's a skill that can be built and strengthened. Here are 4 effective strategies, okay? First, stay open to change. Adaptable people are curious and welcoming of new ideas, technologies, and approaches. Instead of resisting change, they anticipate it and see it as an opportunity to improve. Okay? Now let's take a look at Carol Dweck, the psychologist who developed the technique of developing a growth mindset. So this concept is what Carol Dweck found about people that have this mindset view challenges as opportunities, not threats. She gives us a famous example. Michael Jordan, you must have heard of him. He was famously cut from his high school basketball team. You see, Michael Jordan was kicked out from his high school basketball team. So this nowadays would be like having Lionel Messi or Cristiano Ronaldo kicked out of his high school football team. But rather than giving up, Michael Jordan used this setback as a motivation to become one of the greatest athletes in history. Well, at least in basketball, let's not talk about golf, shall we? Let's take a look now at enhancing emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence helps you understand your reactions during change. Okay? It's about managing stress and staying composed and responding truthfully under pressure. Let's briefly try a quick resilience exercise, shall we? Think about a difficult change you've recently experienced. Okay? Can you find an example of some difficult change you've experienced lately? So, how did that initially feel? Yeah? How did you feel about that change initially? Got it? Well, pause the video if you need to think a bit more, but what helped you cope and move forward? So, how did you cope with it and move forward from there? Again, pause the video if you need some time to do the activity. So, recapitulating, think about some difficult change you recently experienced. Think about how did it initially feel and identify what helped you cope and move forward from it. Pause the video and come back when you've completed it. Okay, now let's go to practice flexibility in daily tasks. So every day, practice approaching tasks differently, change your routine slightly, use new tools, or experiment with innovative methods. These small daily actions build the habit of flexibility. If you don't do them and you keep doing the same thing the same way, why? You don't even know because you heard that it's like that. Well, then if something fails in that process, you won't be able to adapt. Okay, so please be open to doing your things differently or even doing different things in your day. Okay? So, let's do a quick activity on reframing challenges. The language you use shapes how you think and respond to difficult situations. For example, rather than saying this is impossible, reframe it as how can I make this work? So, this is impossible versus how can I make this work? Just changing your words here can completely shift your mindset towards solutions and creativity. Now, everyone, take a moment. Think of a challenge you're currently facing. It can be academic, professional, or personal, whatever. Some challenge you are facing. Write down the negative way you've been thinking about it. Now, rewrite it positively. Instead of seeing it as a roadblock, frame it as an opportunity or puzzle to solve. Okay, take your time, as they say in Tanzania, against all time management techniques. Pulley, take your time, pause the video, and come back when you complete this task. Okay, now, as we've explored, neither time management nor adaptability alone is sufficient in today's world, so they must work together. Time management provides the clarity and structure you need to achieve your goals, while adaptability gives you the flexibility to adjust when reality diverges from your plan. And by now we know it always will. So this dynamic balance is essential. It allows you to navigate unpredictable circumstances, respond effectively to unexpected demands, and stay resilient when your carefully crafted plans are disrupted. When you master both skills, you become not just efficient, but truly effective in your personal and professional life. Okay? Next, we will move into practical activities and scenarios that will help you strengthen these combined skills in realistic settings. So far, we've discussed the importance of time management and the necessity of adaptability, but the real challenge is finding a balance between both. Let's be clear. Time management provides structure. It ensures tasks get done efficiently. Adaptability provides flexibility. It allows you to adjust when plans change. Neither of these can stand alone. They must work together. Okay? So, let's take a look at the dynamic balance between structure and ability. Okay? A great example of balancing structure and adaptability is a pilot. Every flight follows a strict flight plan, just like structured time management. But pilots must also be ready to adapt to unexpected weather conditions, rerouting when necessary, just like the adaptability in the workplace. So the best professionals plan ahead, but leave room for change. Okay? So, even with the best time management strategies, priorities will change, and you need to be able to adjust without losing focus. Reassess and reprioritize quickly. Unexpected deadlines, last-minute meeting requests, sudden changes in strategy. What should you do? Instead of reacting emotionally, step back and reassess. Here, the Eisenhower matrix can help under pressure. What's truly urgent? What's important but can be scheduled? What distractions can be eliminated? What tasks can I delegate? Okay? Now, handling last-minute requests. Not every urgent request is truly important. Before accepting extra work, ask yourself, does this align with my priorities? Is it urgent or just someone else's urgency? You have to learn how to say no, or at least not now. This is a critical skill in balancing structure and adaptability. Even your boss will understand a no if you justify that you are busy with something that has a higher priority. You won't be seen as someone who won't do it. You will be seen as someone who is taking care of what is important, urgent. Okay? Now let's talk a bit about maintaining productivity during change. Now that we've learned how to reassess priorities, this next step is staying productive during change. Staying organized in uncertain situations. Using tools like calendars, task lists, and scheduling apps helps maintain some level of structure, even when everything else feels unpredictable. Problem-solving mindset, embracing change. Instead of resisting change, train yourself to problem-solve under pressure. If an unexpected challenge arises, ask, what's the best way to handle this efficiently? Can I turn this into an opportunity? The best professionals aren't just organized, they're resourceful. Okay? So the key to balancing structure and flexibility is use time management for structure, use adaptability for flexibility, and stay productive by staying organized and problem solving. Okay? So we've covered a lot today, but let's take a moment to reflect on key takeaways from this session. Time management creates structure, okay? Time management is all about building a solid structure. It would be perfect if everything that could go wrong wouldn't go wrong. So time management is a solid structure, but it's not prone to adaptability. Adaptability is what ensures resilience. No matter how well you plan, things will change. Being adaptable allows you to stay effective despite uncertainty. Okay? So, the balance of both time management and adaptability is the key to long-term success. If you're only structured, you risk rigidity. If you're only adaptable, you risk total inefficiency. The best professionals master both skills. Okay? So, a final thought. Success is not about having a perfect plan, but about managing time effectively while staying adaptable to change. Okay? Think about this for a moment. Success doesn't come from having the perfect plan, because no plan is ever perfect. Instead, it comes from knowing how to manage your time well while staying adaptable to unexpected challenges. This is true in academia, business, sports, and life. Okay? So now that you've learned this, it's time for me to call you for action. I want to leave you guys and girls with that challenge. Pick one strategy from today's session and apply it this week. Maybe it's time blocking to improve focus. Maybe it's using the Eisenhower matrix to prioritize better. Maybe it's practicing adaptability by reframing some challenge. Whatever it is, commit to testing it this week. Because no knowledge only becomes useful when applied. Why have you been here listening to me for an hour if you're not going to apply it? So apply it this week. Pick one of the topics and just do it. Okay? Thank you for all your time today. Now go and manage it well, okay? Thank you.